Should you go for the eye-catching conversation starter, the Galaxy Z Fold 4, with its huge internal screen that bends like Gumby, and which is now only slightly more expensive than its rigid screen flagship Samsung counterpart, or should you opt for the superior camera abilities of the S23 Ultra? In folded state, the Z Fold 4 is shorter and narrower than the S23 Ultra, but way thicker and more cumbersome to carry around or fit in your pocket. Samsung's bezel area gap and increased visibility also leave a lot to be desired compared to some other foldables out there, so the design round would go to the curved screen of the S23 Ultra. As far as ergonomics are concerned, the very narrow external display on the Fold 4 makes it easier to reach across it when holding the phone with one hand, yet the thick and heavy phone feel is always there. The biggest advantage of Samsung's best foldable phone before the Galaxy S23 Ultra is that it comes with a huge 7.6-inch internal display to browse, read, game, or watch videos on. Granted, it might not sound much larger than the 6.8-inch panel of the Ultra, but due to the almost square aspect ratio, the Fold 4's inner screen is much bigger in surface area still. This fact renders one of the biggest bragging rights of the S23 Ultra, the integrated S Pen stylus silo, somewhat moot. The Fold 4, after all, also supports Samsung's venerable stylus, which can be carried in the respective official case, but offers much larger canvas to doodle or annotate on, so we can call it a draw here and give the overall display advantage to the Z Fold 4. Granted, surveys show that foldable phone owners are mostly using their external displays about 80% of the time, but they always know a bigger screen is there when needed. Otherwise, the 6.2-inch external panel on the Z Fold 4 with a very tall and narrow aspect ratio just wouldn't cut it compared to the 6.8-inch panel of the S23 Ultra. As for the Galaxy S23 Ultra screen quality, we expect Samsung to use its latest 12th Gen OLED panel technology that debuted on the Fold 4, but brighter because of what Apple managed with the iPhone 14 Pro Max that uses the same Samsung OLED generation and yet offers up to 2000 nits of peak brightness. Given the 1 to 120 Hz dynamic refresh rate and excellent calibration on both phones, a brighter screen would leave the Ultra at a slight advantage before the Fold 4 in display characteristics, if not in sheer size. In addition, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is expected to come with the newest Gorilla Glass Victus 2 as its display and rear covers, one-upping the Fold 4 in that respect as well. There is no denying that being the newer phone, the Galaxy S23 Ultra will manage to beat the Z Fold 4's hardware in terms of performance gains, but it will especially be much better in the camera and zoom departments. The biggest Galaxy S23 Ultra hardware upgrade is 200 megapixels ISOCELL HP2 main camera sensor, would run circles around the modest camera kit of the Galaxy Fold 4. Thankfully, Samsung stopped putting the 12 megapixels trifecta on its foldables, but even a 50 megapixels sensor wouldn't cut it against the Galaxy S23 Ultra, let alone its unsurpassed zoom kit. With 10x periscope magnification and 3x telephoto zoom for portraits and closer objects, the Ultra models of Samsung dominate the competition, even its internal one like the Galaxy Z Fold 4. This is because in extreme low-light scenarios, the 200 megapixels sensor's pixel size would go to 2.4 micron bin virtual pixels by combining 16 into 1 so that a picture can be snapped at 12.5 megapixels, but with greatly increased light sensitivity. Not only that, but Snapdragon 8 Gen 2's image processing will bring new photography abilities to the S23 Ultra. Moreover, Samsung is readying an exclusive improvement to its super steady mode for the Galaxy S23 Ultra that it will aptly call Ultra Stabilization, and with which it may aim to bring something akin to Apple's newfangled action mode video recording stabilization. While Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip is still made on the 4nm process now in its second generation, it's the extra chipset features that will give the S23 Ultra a leg up in performance before the Fold 4. The S23 Ultra is tipped to get a faster 3.36 GHz Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which will be clocked higher than the stock 3.2 GHz version that Qualcomm announced. The 1521 and 4689 Geekbench scores in the single and multi-core benchmark tests, respectively, put it ahead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 scores of the Fold 4, 2, not to mention the superior graphics subsystem abilities. Not only is Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 supporting the latest 3D graphics rendering trends, but it is the most stable and powerful Qualcomm flagship chipset to date, rivaling the Apple S16 on the iPhone 14 Pro Max even, where it keeps cooler under pressure while delivering similar frames per watt performance. By the time the Galaxy S23 Ultra lands, both phones will be on the latest Android 13 with the newest Samsung One UI interface as an overlay, but the Z Fold 4 will enjoy its exclusive multitasking interface features made possible by the giant internal display. It would be rather easy to decide between the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Z Fold 4 when choosing time mirrors. If Samsung keeps the current Fold 4 instant discount scheme or cuts its price permanently as happened with its predecessor, its starting tag would be only slightly higher than that of the S23 Ultra in the respective storage tier. The reasons to go with the Ultra would then boil down to how close of a camera magnification level or low-light performance does one need, as well as how willing they are to gloss over the bulky and heavy Fold 4 when closed. When unfurled, however, Samsung's head-turning foldable phone presents you with a bigger display than what the S23 Ultra would carry, which is on top of that supportive of the S Pen stylus, but on a much larger canvas. If you browse, do work on your phone, or game on a regular basis, you really have to weigh the better camera kit or potentially longer battery life of the S23 Ultra. The Fold 4 may feel clunky in hands and pockets, but is a joy to one's infotainment needs when unfurled. So the choice boils down to the price difference come S23 Ultra launch time. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more tech updates in the future. See you for the next time. Peace out.